Hello, welcome to Cox Next webinar, The Wonderful World of Video, How to Drive Results in a Fragmented Environment. Cox Next is a trusted digital partner with experience in advertising across digital platforms. We provide customized strategies and in-depth reporting for our clients across a wide range of industries. I'm Cameron Williams, Programmatic Media Strategist.
And I'm Caitlin Lewis, Senior Digital Strategist, and we'll be taking you through the webinar today. Let's get started. Today, we will cover a wide range of topics: leveraging video for lead gen and the different platforms to prioritize, driving results in a fragmented environment, incorporating Cox Next TV, and more. We'll also have time for a live Q&A at the end, so stick around.
Did you know that users view over 1 billion hours of video per day on YouTube? Now, let's talk about leveraging video for lead generation. There are different strategies for using video for lead gen. First, you want to make sure you have a strong CTA in your video. For example, on YouTube, you can skip ads. So having it in the first 5 seconds is important to make sure that you can get it in front of the viewer before they have a chance to skip. For non-skippable ads, you want it to be the lasting impression that the viewer sees. So include your CTA at the end. It's also important to remember that video ads are top of the funnel. A great way to see lead gen results with video is to incorporate something that they can remember from your commercial, like a unique phone number, promo code, or promotion. This Uber commercial aired at the beginning of the pandemic, encouraging their customers not to use their business. We chose to highlight this because it's more of an anti-ad. It was great for their overall branding, but they chose to focus on how they care more about their riders than they do about their payout. One of the great things about video is that it can be used in a multi-touch attribution model. Video has an influence on other mediums and on how consumers view brands. Since video isn't often a one-to-one conversion with consumers, you have the ability to help carry consumers through their buyer's journey with a variety of types of video. Video often influences organic search. So after someone watches your video, there's a heightened chance of them searching for your company online for further information. For example, during the Super Bowl this year, Reddit pulled together their yearly advertising budget to air a 5-second commercial. This sparked immense search traffic for the Reddit commercial, making it one of the most searched of the entire evening. This shows that you can make a big splash with video, no matter the contents.
com/save restaurants.
People often believe that in order to get the best results from a video ad, you need to pay the big bucks. But this isn't always true. It's not always about the quality of the view, but the volume of the views. A great example of this are the Hooked on Phonics commercials. They were one of the first companies to purchase national remnant TV ad spots. These are inexpensive ads that ran during off hours overnight. This significantly reduced their ad cost and allowed them to reach massive amounts of people to grow their brand. Now, these people might not have been the highest quality viewer who would show interest in their product, but it definitely helps with their overall brand awareness.
I felt so proud of myself because I had read a 24-chapter book.
When he first learned how to read a book, we just said, Austin, you're a reader. You're a reader. You did it.
And he began to read and with such excitement. And if any program can set up excitement for kids to read, Hooked on Phonics is that program.
Order Hooked on Phonics and receive National Geographic's 30 Memorable Years on 10 CD-ROMs. Must be 18 years or older. Call 1-800-80-CD.
Now let's talk about the best videos to use for lead generation. When producing any type of marketing materials, your hope is always that you'll gain the interest of potential customers. With video, there are several different ways to do that. One of the most popular angles for this is to pull at the heartstrings of the viewer. Whether it's a happy story or a sad one, incorporating an emotional storyline can be quite effective. For example, Amazon created this commercial that told the story of a young girl who wasn't going to get to live out her dreams of being the lead ballerina due to the pandemic. Well, through the power of emotional ties, they pulled at the viewer's heartstrings from beginning to end. One of the best ways to get someone to make a decision is to instill some fear in them, or show them what would happen should they make or not make a decision. The Bosch commercial is the perfect example of showing someone the brevity of a situation that could have been avoided had they been more attentive to their car maintenance. We ran this ad on a weather trigger. This meant that whenever it was raining or we had bad weather, we played the commercial in that market.
Bosch Icon windshield wipers. The calm in the storm.
A great way to grab someone's attention is to make them laugh. If you can create a video that they find humorous, you have a good chance of them remembering your name. A great example of a memorable satirical video is this one from Devour. The storyline of this ad makes you laugh and leaves a lasting impression.
My boyfriend is addicted to frozen food porn. Oh, he watches it at least 2 to 3 times a day, maybe more.
You know how it goes. If someone sees or hears your video enough times, it's going to get stuck in your head, especially if it's a catchy phrase or jingle. One of the most famous examples of this is Geico's Hump Day commercial. What's more memorable than a camel walking around an office yelling, "Hump Day"?
Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo!
Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico? I'd say happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump Day!
Get happy.
Yeah!
Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
As consumers begin to move through their buyer's journey and they get closer to making a decision, sometimes a testimonial can be just what they need. Being able to hear about someone else's experience with your company can be what sets you apart from your competition and potentially seal the deal.
Box is a content management platform that helps some of the world's largest enterprises store, share, and collaborate on some of their most important assets.
We use Zoom today in a number of ways. Key thing for us is a frictionless experience. So something that's very easy to use, very intuitive. We use it for our most important customer meetings.
The last type of video we want to cover is the celebrity feature. Ads that include well-known people like athletes, musicians, YouTubers, or actors always seem to be a hit. This gives consumers the idea that since those they admire enjoy the brand, that they might as well. Super Bowl commercials often do a great job of this. They include celebrities in their videos to stand out even more.
Amazon's Alexa lost her voice this morning, causing a
Alexa lost her voice? How is that even possible?
We have the replacements ready. Just say the word.
And you're sure this is gonna work?
Yeah.
Alexa, show me a recipe for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Pathetic. You're 32 years of age and you don't know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Its name is the recipe, you...
Now that we've discussed the best types of videos to create, now let's talk about where you should be displaying them. OTT and CTV have become increasingly popular, especially over the past year. Those that have cut the cord watch streaming services as their regular television. Because they don't have a cable subscription, they have to subscribe to a number of different platforms to get access to all of the programs they are interested in. With more platforms being developed, there is premium inventory available. People of all ages have flocked to streaming platforms so that they can watch their favorite shows at their own leisure. Because of this wide range of demographics that are reachable through the platform, you have vast opportunities to get your video in front of the right people. Say that you're trying to set up a new program on your computer and you can't figure it out, so you search the internet for the answer. Instead of reading through step-by-step instructions, it's almost easier to watch a YouTube video that shows exactly how to solve your problem. When someone searches on Google, if there are YouTube videos that correspond with their search, they often populate at the top of the results. YouTube has something for everyone, all varieties of content for all types of audiences. Even if you don't have the means for publishing your video across other platforms, YouTube provides you with a chance to get your video seen and even take it viral. Take the Dollar Shave Club video, for example. Rather than running a traditional commercial, they created a funny video in their warehouse and published it to YouTube, and through social sharing, it went viral. And it was really the only form of advertising that they used to build their business.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are
Hulu is a subscription streaming service that has several tiers available, one with ads and one without. This platform is often where you can find people who have ditched cable. Since this is seen as a replacement to traditional TV, there is content for all ages. Twitch.tv is a video streaming platform where users live stream themselves playing video games while simultaneously engaging their audience in conversation. If your brand is one that is targeting a group that enjoys playing video games, Twitch is an ideal platform to air your video ads. Lastly, social media. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat make it easy for brands to disperse their videos to mass groups of people cost effectively. Whether it's a paid ad or a post on their own page, videos always tend to do well on social media. After you've decided what type of video you want to create and where you want to air it, you want to be fully versed in the creation process that will bring you to the best results. Before you film and edit your video, it's important to know the length restrictions. For example, if you're posting to Instagram, it can't be more than 1 minute long. But if you want to upload it to Instagram Reels, the max is 30 seconds. Next, you should know the dimensions for the platform that you're going to run your video on. If you're creating a series of videos to share on Instagram stories, then your video will need to be 1080p by 1920p resolution. Another important aspect to be familiar with is the best practices for the platform. What performs best on that particular platform? When is the best time to post it? You also want to know the targeting capabilities of the platform. Will you be able to provide parameters around who your ad will be placed in front of? Lastly, will you be using real people in your video, or are you opting for an animated option? People often believe that in order to make the best impression with a video, that you need people for viewers to relate to. That isn't always the case, and Duluth Trading Company did a great job of getting their message across without actors.
Hush, little hiney, don't you cry. Duluth Trading made you new underwear. They're called dang soft, they're like a cloud, or maybe like a plushy snout. A pillow for your package, spread the word, like a cuddly panda, hug your gird. Duluth Trading dang soft underwear. Lull your loins. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
Now, let's talk about how to take your video and drive results. It's important to remember that the path to purchase isn't linear. People navigate through their buyer's journey in different ways, and video is a great way to stay in front of viewers and increase their recognition of your product or your service. When you incorporate video, your brand is placed in front of people no matter how they choose to interact with your brand. For example, people aren't always looking for a new cell service provider, yet some of those videos are often the most memorable. T-Mobile's latest video featuring Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski proved to be one that garnered a ton of attention, even if those viewers weren't currently in the market for their services.
Gronk.
What up, TB?
What do you think my next move should be? Give it to me straight. Maybe it's just time I hang him up.
I got one word for you. Retirement. If you retire now, you're gonna be walking on soft sand in a week. Just come to Florida and feel the wind in your hair. Retirement is like winning another one. Maybe I'll even join you.
On the Spotty Network, this is what Tom heard.
If you retire now, you're soft and weak. Just come to Florida and win another one. Maybe I'll even join you.
Just go win another one.
Like it's that easy, Gronk. Maybe it is. I still feel like I have a lot to accomplish.
My goal is to win one more.
And Gronk's coming with me.
I'm retired from retiring? Mom, where are my football pants?
Don't trust big decisions to just any network. Go with T-Mobile, the GOAT in 5G.
And I'm not soft or weak either.
T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
With video, it's important to remember not to put your eggs in one basket. You need to have multiple touch points within your strategy to increase your ROI. Instead of betting it all on one color in a game of roulette, opt to play the craps table and put a little bit of money across the board for a better chance of winning. When you have a marketing strategy in play that is seamlessly integrated, you've set yourself up for better ROI.
If you're looking for the best possible strategy to incorporate video into your marketing plan, consider Cox Next TV. Cox Next TV is a holistic video buying and distribution platform. With Cox Next TV, you will be able to strategically place your video in front of your desired target audience, whenever and wherever they consume their content. These targeted video buys can be done locally, regionally, and nationally. Cox Next has partnerships that give us the ability to layer data and precisely identify the right targets for your video ads. Through the duration of your campaign, we're watching your video analytics and the activity of those viewing your ads. With Cox Next TV, you have the ability to make real-time optimizations based on the insights from our premium data to ensure maximum results. In addition to our consulting, we have a customized reporting dashboard that gives our clients the ability to see real-time metrics based on what matters most to their brand goals. There's no need to set it and forget it with Cox Next TV. Our audience research allows us to monitor the activity of your audience and then take our findings and implement them into our strategy. Lastly, we have multiple inventory options that allow us to get your video in front of the right people at the right time through direct partnerships or direct buys. Thank you so much for attending today's webinar. We hope you gained some valuable information on how Cox Next TV can help you drive results via video ads.
Now we have some time for some open questions. So join me in the next section and we'll get those questions answered.
If you're interested in learning more about how to drive results with video in a fragmented environment, don't hesitate to reach out to us at Cox Next.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for the presentation portion of the webinar. And now we'll take a few questions. We'll try to get to them all before the end of our time here, but make sure to put them in the chat And like I said, we'll get to as many as we can. So it looks like we have a couple of questions coming in. So I'll get started on those. Our first question is, creating a full commercial is expensive. How can I get a video ad made without spending my whole budget on production costs? That's an awesome question, and very common, seeing as we don't all have access to, a production company to do a full video shoot that requires many camera people and doing a full day. So one thing you can do, and we do that here at Cox Next, is we create these motion graphic ads. And essentially, it's pretty similar to that Duluth Trading Company ad that we saw earlier in the presentation. It involves animation, still images, and other graphics. So that way you create a high quality video ad for a fraction of the time it takes to create the ad and the cost. So that way you can spend more of your budget on actually running the video ad campaign instead of having to figure out how you're going to pay for that ad to get created in the first place. Looks like we have another question here. Okay, it says, if I have a client that doesn't have video, what would be the most cost-friendly way to do this? And again, I mentioned the motion graphics, and I know those questions probably came in at the same time, but those motion graphics are really, really good, again, to get a fraction of the cost, fraction of the time spent on one of those videos. And they actually perform really well across all channels, whether it's FEP, OTT, CTV, something like that, or more of the short form content that you might put on social media, things like that. We have another question. It says, how long should my commercial run to get great results? Very common question. I think you have probably seen any ad ranging from 5 or 6 seconds all the way to a minute and a half and sometimes even longer. Really what we recommend is between 15 and 30 seconds for your video commercial. The reason for that, people have short attention spans. So they might either click away, exit out of whatever they are watching, or skip the ad sometimes in some cases. So we really recommend between 15 and 30 seconds to really grab that focus, especially on a YouTube ad or an OTT ad. But you can even go the route of doing a 6-second ad on social media. Again, people are scrolling through their news feed, they're distracted, they might be looking at other things. So when you see that ad, you want to make sure it's most impactful. So to get a really good result on social media, run a 5 or 6 second ad and put that call to action in the beginning. That way you're really keeping your engagement high, your attention high with your consumers to get great results. Let's see here. Okay, we have another question that says, what metrics should I focus on when running a video campaign? Another great question, and of course in today's world we're all about conversions. We're all about getting that high return on ad spend, getting a high ROI. But with video it can kind of vary depending on the platform that you run on. So a lot of times with more of your full episode player or CTV content, with those campaigns, the ads aren't clickable. So with those campaigns, you really want to focus on video completion rate. And all that is how much of the ad the viewer actually watches. So with our FEP or CTV campaigns, we generally look for a 90% plus completion rate, and that tells us that the user was really engaged with the ad, they didn't exit out of the program, and they watched that ad to its fullest. But then for kind of the other platforms, so think social media, think pre-roll, even think YouTube, here you're going to focus more on the click-through rate. Because these ads run on multiple devices and you don't know exactly where you're going to catch the viewer watching at that given time until after the impression runs, you can focus on click-through rate. Right, we want to make sure that the call to action in the video ad is strong enough and that the user's engaged enough so that they'll click through that ad and go to your website and then take the action that you're wanting them to do. So click-through rate there is really good, and especially with platforms like Facebook and YouTube, we can then optimize for the conversions once a user gets past the ad to your site, and depending on what you want them to do when they get to that website, we can then focus on optimizing for conversions. Let's see here. All right, looks like we have another question here. It says, if I'm running video on multiple platforms and one platform is getting great results but the others are not, how quickly can I make a change, or can I if a campaign is in place? Great question. And this is kind of the benefit of working with an agency who does a more holistic approach and takes more of that omni-channel platform agnostic approach. Is usually when when you are working with an agency that does all of that, you can make changes like that. Turn on a dime. And really you want to be able to do that and work with a partner that can allow you to do that. You want to make sure that your campaign is fluid, your budget is fluid. So let's just say you're running on YouTube, OTT, and Facebook. And let's just say YouTube isn't performing the best, but Facebook is killing it. We want to make sure that we can shift that budget quickly to capitalize on those results so we're not putting in any ad waste or anything like that. So at least for us at Cox Next, we can make that turn really, really fast to make sure, again, that we're optimizing toward the right platform and the right metrics. And so how quickly? Very quickly, provided the communication is there. And then can I? Yes, you absolutely can. Again, as long as you're working with a partner or with an agency who takes that platform agnostic approach and is really focused on driving the best conversions and the best return on ad spend, you absolutely can do that if your campaign's already in place. All right, let's see here. We have another question. Which social media platform do you recommend running video ads on? Great question. And there's so many social media platforms out there, so you really have to think about what is best for each platform. I know from our experience, Facebook video ads work really, really well in terms of engagement, at least in comparison to a standard image ad, because it is more attention grabbing. It's more impactful with the video than sometimes just that static ad. So definitely Facebook. But then also think about the other platforms, especially depending on your target audience. Snapchat is really great for video. TikTok is excellent for video since it is that video platform. And so if you have a partner or an agency that you're working with who has access to those, what would be best is to kind of put those video ads in each of those buckets: Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. Again, especially depending on if you have a younger audience, younger demographic, things like that, then we can really insert your ad in the right social platforms to get the best results for video, depending on what your goals are and what your target audience is. Let's see. And then we also have another question that says, what sort of data can I layer into a video campaign? Great question. And really across the board, we can run first-party data, third-party data, audience segments, behavioral, contextual targeting. With Cox Next, we can run audiences through our own DMP, our own data management platform. And we have a proprietary site analysis tag that we can use to actually pipe in audiences and create lookalikes off that. So you absolutely can layer in data. And it really benefits you to partner with an agency who has access to a lot of different data platforms, data providers, and audience segments and things like that. And one thing to mention about that too is we know kind of as a marketing director, as a manager, you're trying to juggle a lot of different balls in the air, right? You have a lot of hats you have to wear. And so the last thing you need is to have to figure out, okay, how do I go here and do all these things and get my video ad created at a low cost and all of that. So, it's really important, again, I've mentioned, to work with an agency or a partner who can take all of that heavy lifting away from you and put it on their shoulders instead. Their job should be to make you look good, because if you look good, then your clients are happy, and you yourself are happy too, and you look good in front of your own boss too. Again, it's important to have an agency to take all that heavy lifting away, to do all the technical aspects, from an ad format perspective, ad specs, pixeling, all of that. And that's another good benefit of working with Cox Next is we do all that for you. We want to take that away from you, make it super easy, again, so that you look good. And it looks like we're running short on time here, so I'll get to this one last question. And it's, can you tell me about the dashboard you mentioned for monitoring a campaign? Absolutely. Our dashboard, we really pride ourselves in having a fully transparent, real-time dashboard that shows you all results at, not just the campaign level, but the creative level, the ad set level, and things like that. So at the drop of a hat, you can log on to your to the dashboard that you have access to and monitor your campaign and see how things are going. And again, if you're running into a last-minute meeting with your bosses, you've got access to it and you can get that right at your fingertips. All right, it looks like we're out of time here today, but again, thank you so much for joining us for the presentation as well as this live Q&A. If you do have any questions that maybe we didn't have a chance to get to, or just have any other follow-ups that you have for us, feel free to reach out to us. Our website is coxnext.com, and there's form fills on the site all over the place to sign up for a free consultation with us and to get in contact with one of us. We'd be happy to help, and we're excited that you took the time out of your day to tune into this webinar. And again, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.